There is an unbelievable amount of fitness myths out there on the internet and bro science, and it's so bad that if you're a beginner, you're gonna get pretty bad paralysis analysis because this person is saying to do one thing, this research study contradicts what this person says, this person is saying to do the other thing. It's absolutely unbelievable. That's why I believe your own personal experience and trial and error is the best lessons, and then from there you can kind of figure out what works best for you. However, there are some pretty solid fitness myths that were so believable by a wide scale of people, and even me myself. And that's why in this video, I want to share with you some fitness myths that I used to strongly, heavily believe in, and hopefully you don't believe in these myths either. Subscribe, like, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Now, the first one is the anabolic window. I remember when I was 16, 15 years old, I just started out trying to get into weightlifting. This was before I even got into calisthenics, but I was on the bodybuilding forums, right? I always used to browse the bodybuilding forums back in the day. Back then, it was a good solid hub for information. Nowadays, I'm not sure what they do, but I just always remember seeing this thing, anabolic window, never go catabolic. And that was like the surefire way to lose all your muscle, lose all your progress, as if you don't consume, I believe it was either a protein shake or at least 50 grams of protein 1 hour after training. And I was so strict on this fact, and I was so scared not to, that I had a protein shake already ready made before I started working out, and I would put it in the refrigerator so that when I go home, I was ready to drink it, right? Now, in hindsight, we hopefully know now that the anabolic window does not matter. You can actually consume your protein anytime throughout the day as long as you hit your protein requirements and goals. But in hindsight, like I said, I believe it has helped me hit my protein goals because throughout that time, if I wouldn't have believed in that anabolic window, then I think my overall protein intake would have been a lot lower for the day just because I really stressed on getting that protein into that certain time frame and window. So it could have helped, but at the end of the day, if I knew what I knew now, if I applied what I knew now, then chances are I wouldn't have to be so strict on it. Number 2 is stretching before training. Now, the reason why I believed in this myth is pretty much indoctrination growing up. When you're in gym classes, PE, elementary school, middle school, before any sort of sporting event, what do they make you do? They make you stretch, right? Go through all the basic stretches, loosen up the muscle. And just my whole life, I always figured people stretch before they work out. Go up to any amateur gym goer and ask them, should you stretch before you work out? I guarantee you, 8 out of 10 people will still say yes. And come to find out, static stretching is not a good thing to do before you actually resistance train. That's because you gotta think of your muscles like a rubber band. So if you're stretching out a rubber band consistently, what is that gonna do? It's gonna overall make it weaker. So with that being said, let's say you got a leg day, you got a squat, you gotta do all these leg movements. If you're stretching out your hamstrings and doing all this, your lifts are gonna be weaker. So the alternative and best way to stretch before working out is actually doing dynamic movements. So doing any sort of dynamic, non-static stretching movement like leg swings, arm circles, rotations, warming up, getting the joints nice and mobile. That type of stuff is what you want to do before working out, not doing any sort of long static stretches, because I promise you, you will get weaker and you can also be prone to injury. Number 3, I believe that your progress should always be linear, right? Just every single workout, every week, every month, your progress is going up like this, and it never pretty much drops and goes down or anything like that. But what I come to find out, guys, is that progress is not linear. I don't think progress is linear for anything. There's always gonna be some sort of go down, go up a little bit, go down, go up a little bit more. But when you look at the whole concept, you're still making good progress, right? You're still going up. But in there's always gonna be some sort of dips, right? And spikes. So when it comes to increasing your progressions with calisthenics, when it comes to increasing your weight with weightlifting, you just overall gotta realize that the progress won't always be steady and linear week by week, month by month, year by year, especially as you get more advanced. And then the sooner you come to accept that, actually the more happy and satisfied you'll be with your training. As long as you're making progress on a long-term basis, that's what matters the most. Number 4, I believe that if I trained like somebody, I will look like that person. So me, myself, I used to be heavily within YouTube fitness before I started making videos myself. I would watch Chris Jones, I would watch Brandon Carter. Shout out to all of them, by the way, the OGs for real. I thought if I replicated these workouts from these people, that my body will literally look like them. I didn't have the concept of my own personal genetics, my own frame, my own muscle bellies, all that stuff. I just didn't think about. I just thought, okay, he has this certain body, his waist this way, his chest is that wide. Let me go do these chest workouts and then my chest will look exactly like his within 3 months from now. That's not the case, guys. Everybody's genetics are different. Everybody's gonna have some sort of limit they can fully reach. And in the last video, I talked about genetic potential. But if you come to understand your own personal genetics and what you're capable of, that's when you'll be the most satisfied, because that's when you'll realize I need to be the best version of myself, of me. Yes, I can take the information from these other people and apply these concepts so that I can train optimally, but I'm not gonna do everything by the book that this person does, including their training, including their diet, bar for bar, word for word, and expect the same exact results from them. Guys, I can literally show any day of eating that I do. I can show all my workout training programs that I do personally for me, myself, and you still will never look like me. So that's what you gotta come to realize and accept, that yes, you can take the optimal points from these people and kind of see how they lay out the basic blueprint, but then from there, you need to realize what works best for you, and you only get that through trial and error. Fitness myth, and this is a bonus, guys, is that my calves will grow. Now, I'll be real, my calves have seen massive improvements from when I first started YouTube, but they are never to the size that I'm satisfied about. And honestly, to be fair, at this point in time, I don't train my calves for them to get bigger. I train my calves for them to not lose size. Because now I'm at the point where I've accepted, like, hey, unless I'm on the juice, unless I do calf raises every single waking moment of the day, they ain't gonna get much bigger than what they are right now, man. Like even if I was to gain weight or something, like I just have that body type to where all my weight goes to my top half, but my bottom half stays skinnier. My mom's that way, my dad's that way, my family is that way. So like, thanks mom and dad, shout out to y'all for the cow genetics. Both of them have high insertions, and you know, yes, I made progress, but I once had the idea that my calves are gonna look like my biceps. Like they're just gonna be like so full and just huge and jacked. But I'm satisfied with them, but they'll never be that way, man. And shout out to all my skinny calf brothers. Keep working them. Once again, I train them so that they don't get smaller. Maybe you do the same at this point in time. And I tried everything in the book. I've literally been training my calves 4 to 5 times a week for the past 4 years. Kid you not. Probably 5 years at this point in time. So guys, those were the fitness myths I used to believe in. Let me know, do you have any fitness myths that you used to believe in? Post them down below in the comments. Subscribe, like. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace.